The White House's aggressive effort to discredit a Florida congresswoman who criticized President Trump over a military condolence call ran into a new set of problems Friday when a video emerged showing that the chief of staff had made false claims about her. It marked the fifth day of a controversy that has raged since Trump attempted to deflect criticism of his handling of the deaths of 4 service members in an ambush in Niger. The ensuing debate has focused on attacks against Representative Frederica S. Wilson, Democrat Florida, that have proved to be inaccurate but that the White House has refused to back away from, with the latest episode ensnaring Chief of Staff John F. Kelly, a decorated retired Marine general. The escalating political mudfight has overshadowed the grief of Myshia Johnson and the heroism of her dead husband, Sergeant Law David Johnson, who gave his life for his country. Trump aides Friday stood by Kelly's contention that Wilson had boasted about her role in winning funding for a federal building, even after video of her remarks emerged and showed that he was wrong. In a rare appearance before reporters a day earlier to defend Trump's calls to grieving military families, Kelly suggested that Wilson was like empty barrels making the most noise, while recalling her appearance at a 2015 event that he attended to christen a new FBI complex in Miami. Wilson has come under heavy criticism from Trump and his supporters for publicly accusing the president of being insensitive in a phone call to Johnson 2 weeks ago, after her husband died in the line of duty. But video of Wilson's 9-minute speech at the 2015 event, posted by the Sun-Sentinel of Fort Lauderdale, shows that she spoke solely about her efforts to get the building named after 2 fallen FBI agents, praised the agents for their service and thanked colleagues in Congress from both parties. Instead of backing down, White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders piled on Friday and said Kelly was justified in accusing the lawmaker of grandstanding, despite erring on the facts. "As we say in the South, all hat, no cattle," Sanders said of Wilson, an African-American who is known for wearing brightly colored cowboy hats. Sanders also attempted to shift the debate away from Kelly's inaccuracies to instead focus on his personal integrity. "If you want to get into a debate with a 4-star Marine general, I think that that's something highly inappropriate," she said. In an interview with Fox Business Network taped Friday, Trump accused Wilson of debasing Kelly by suggesting that the chief of staff had defended the president at Trump's insistence, in order to keep his job. "When she made that statement, I thought it was sickening, actually," Trump said. He added that Kelly is doing an incredible job and said the general, who had listened in on his call with Johnson, was offended that Wilson would make it public. "Actually, he said to me, 'Sir, this is not acceptable. This is really not,'" the president said. "Look, I've called many people, and I would think that every one of them appreciated it. I was very surprised to see this, to be honest with you." White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders on October 20 defended Chief of Staff John F. Kelly's attacks on Representative Frederica S. Wilson, Democrat Florida, and called it highly inappropriate to debate with a 4-star Marine general. Reuters critics said the episode reflects Trump's continued efforts to avoid scrutiny of his conduct in office by casting blame elsewhere. The president waited 12 days to comment on the soldiers' deaths before being asked about his silence at a Rose Garden news conference Monday. In defending himself, Trump erroneously accused former presidents of failing to call military families whose loved ones were killed in action. Trump later defended his claim by publicly disclosing that President Barack Obama had not called Kelly after his son, Robert, was killed in Afghanistan. Trump reportedly did not inform Kelly, who has resisted efforts to politicize his son's death, that he would make that information public. Kelly and his wife attended a 2011 event at the White House in honor of Gold Star families and were seated at First Lady Michelle Obama's table. "It made me sad, you know what I mean?" said Amy Siskind, a former Wall Street executive who runs a women's empowerment group and compiles a running public list of the erosion of democratic norms in the Trump era. "Kelly is a good man," Siskind said. "He takes a job, as chief of staff, to prevent World War III, but then he lets Trump use his son, unbeknown to him, to make a political point about Obama. And then he went out and defended him." Siskind added that Kelly, brought into the White House to help rein in his boss's worst impulses, had compromised himself in trying to stick up for Trump. "Kelly created a big asterisk next to his name," she said. "But how many in the Trump regime have done that? Wilson, a longtime family F.